All right, so welcome to this next episode of Your Music, Your Story. Today we've got Ryan Humphrey, a.k.a. the Big Bearded Drummer.
That's
Word.
me. Sirens.
I think I got sounds effects on here, but I think I turned them off. Oh, well. So if we get started, when did you decide to start playing drums? What led you to want to play drums?
So, I mean, how far back you want to go? Because,
As far back as you want.
oh, geez, I got long stories in mind. I ramble. I hope you're ready for this one.
I am A-OK.
Okay. So my dad had taken me to concerts when I was real little. I mean, like maybe 4 or 5 years old. And I'm not sure if I like gave off a vibe that I wanted to play drums or something, but my parents put me in drum lessons at like a very young age, maybe 5 or 6.
Oh, wow.
And but I hated it immediately, and I stopped immediately. Because at the time, I mean, I had been to a concert or two with my dad and the rock stars and my very first lesson, he brought me on to he sat me in a chair and put me in front of this little practice pad and said, now we're just going to hit it like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I was like, this is really boring. And I don't think I made it past 2 lessons. I think I only went maybe twice. And you know, that there went that. And then so when I get into like elementary school, I went through like all the instruments that they teach you in elementary school, like the recorder and stuff. But in middle school, I started playing like instrumental music, like saxophone and trombone, and became really involved in like orchestra and instrumental music. And then when it went over to high school, it became marching band and concert band and that sort of thing. So like my senior year, I joined the drum line. Was like my first year that I really like took drums seriously. So to answer your question in a roundabout way, I was about 18 when I started like saying, "Oh, I'm actually pretty good at this, and I can turn this into something." And so I started teaching marching band rudimentary style drums, and started playing with some local groups. And by the age of 23 or 24, I was playing in a few local bands and playing shows and having a good time playing drums.
Oh, nice. So you talked about, I mean, I 100% agree with you. You get that practice pad, you're like, this ain't a set. Ain't no rocker plays a practice pad. Those are for sissies.
Yep.
But so in that meantime, before like talk about around 18 when you started in the drum line, so did you still kind of play a little bit here and there, or did you just not play at all? You just played the other instruments. And then what brought you back to drums?
I'm telling you, there's long stories with all these questions you're going to ask. You're in trouble. So in middle school, when I started playing instruments again, I picked the saxophone in 6th grade. Well, by 7th grade, I wanted to be a drummer again. So I auditioned for my middle school band director, who was like, you're great at the saxophone. I would love to keep you on the saxophone. And so that kind of dashed my percussion dreams in middle school.
You're a better sax player than drummer?
Yes, at the time. And so then I get into high school, and I find out that if you join the jazz band, you get to go on a jazz trip to Reno, Nevada, and spend a weekend with your friends kind of get to have a party away from school. You even get to miss a few days of school. And I said, okay, ever. I need to learn an instrument that I could play in the jazz band. And I had already had all these dreams of like percussion and stuff, like being dashed. And but I had still, I'm not winter, let me back up. Second semester of my freshman year, they like split, and drumline goes away from the band and competes on their own. And so the setting becomes now concert percussion on a stage. It's more, even kind of a suit and tie kind of thing.
Standing up.
Yes. Little drummer voice type thing. And so I had made friends with those guys, and then the second semester comes, and the winter drum line, and I was looking for something to do, and so I kind of got in there playing like auxiliary percussion. It was like he doesn't know how to drum, but what can we give him to hit, and just and it turned out that I kind of took to it, and by my senior year, I was fully in drumline, but I had the audition for jazz band on drums. It was like the same story for middle school. He said, we need trombone players really badly for this band. Do you want to play the trombone? And I was like, well, gosh, dang it. Okay, I guess I will. And I did that just begrudgingly because I wanted to go to Reno and hang out with my friends and be in another organization. But it turned out that I really liked the trombone. And so the trombone and the drums became my two like main instruments going forward, like after high school. So,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now I know like you do a lot of ska stuff. Is that kind of where that started, or was that a little bit before then?
So in high school, in the marching band, you're exposed to, and I'm not sure why it works out that way, that the swim team or the football team doesn't necessarily listen to ska music, but like the kids in the marching band who can relate to the horns and stuff and that sort of fun performance of a ska band. I was drawn right to it. As a horn player and an aspiring drummer. You had said, did I ever tamper around with drums like while I played the other instruments? I would go to friends' houses who were drummers, and I would get on their drum set and just thrash around. But it became clear to me, anyways, that like I'm actually pretty good at it, and I'm learning it fast. And so, like, it was like the end of my senior year. That's when like I got my first drum set, and it all became like that was the vision at that point.
Everything made sense.
Yes.
The world was right.
Yep. And actually, it was a return to the trombone. So after high school, I just focused on drum set. And I played drum set in a few bands. And I started teaching at my high school that I graduated from. And
nice.
Yeah, I was teaching the drum line. I started working at a couple of schools, like in Long Beach and Los Alamitos. And so those kids are also into ska music, and we had a lot in common. As I was like 3 or 4 years, I had graduated like 3 or 4 years before that, so I was like back on campus with kids. I was teaching my sister at this point too. She's 5-6 years younger than me, so I had graduated and started teaching. And a few of those younger cats were like, "There's like an audition for this band," and so I would join these like smaller little local bands as like a 25-year-old with like 16, 17-year-old kids. You know Karen Roberts.
Yeah.
So her band, Chase Long Beach, I can't say I'm like an original member of the band, but because I joined after the band had already been together for a little while, but way before they like took off and were able to go tour and all that stuff. But I met Karen through one of my students. They were the same age. They were in high school.
Oh, nice.
And so, it was like, oh, he can play the trombone, or, I had mentioned that I used to or something. And so I showed up to that practice with that band one day with my trombone that I hadn't played in like 4 years. And it was fun. And because they were still young, I was able to like be creative with them. Like they were receptive to my age, which was pretty cool. They called me grandpa. Like I was a grandpa on stage.
Karen, is that good or bad?
At the time it was funny, but now I look like a grandpa. Now I'm kind of offended by it. No, I'm kidding. Karen from Chase Long Beach still to this day calls me grandpa. And it was just because I was I don't remember exactly how much older I was than them, but yeah, I joined. So that was the first experience back into trombone, and so I started writing like the horn parts for Chase Long Beach, um, and yeah, did that band for a little while. There's a there's a funny culmination of me being kicked out of two separate bands.
At the same time?
Pretty close. I was going through what you would call a I don't know. I want to make myself look as bad as I was at the time. So I didn't have, never did I have steady work. Never was I responsible in any way. Had a mouth, and so it just, me in the band just became too much. Especially when like it was like, okay, hey, we're about to get serious, and we're gonna go practice in this like rehearsal space. We need you to start contributing some money to to this practice, or else you kind of gotta go. And that I want to say I'm gonna mess up my exit from Chase Long Beach, because I feel like it was amicable. Like there's no hard feelings there. But for a while there was hard feelings for another band that I was in at around the same time. That's, I think, was the main issue, was that they were just done with my attitude, and I wasn't willing to spend any money to help them. Like we would make CDs and the guys would come out of pocket for it. And I just, man, I don't have a job. I don't know, like just total, I don't know what kind of language I can use on your podcast, but
whatever you want. Don't care.
I was a pretty decent sized piece of shit for my 20s. And it ruined any sort of career I wanted to have in music. I was pissing people off left and right, getting kicked out of this band, getting kicked out of that band. And yeah, eventually I stopped music altogether. And this was probably when I was 27, 28. And I was getting kind of good at the like writing aspect of music. And I could do that by myself. And I didn't need to answer to anybody to be a songwriter. Because I had written for both these bands, and even a third band that I played drums for. I had written stuff, here and there for both these bands. And so when I went like essentially on my own, I moved to Texas. I thought to myself, I'm sort of burning the bridges around me. I want like a new start. I had just gotten out of a relationship that ended terribly. I was looking for a new start. Didn't know if I wanted to call California home, Southern California home anymore. And some friends had dropped in my ear that they were thinking about moving to Texas, and it's flourishing, and the music community in Austin is coming up, and it's going to be great there. And so that was the plan, and I jumped in head first. I loaded one vehicle with stuff. Little crossover SUV, and drove to Texas and started an internship at a small studio in Austin. And very soon after that began, I found myself starting to have children.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, the first one was a real, whoa, whoops, hey.
Hey, how you
there.
Doing there?
wasn't expecting you, but hey there, little one, love you so much. My firstborn. But that changed the plans. So now I'm moving to small town Texas. I'm giving up music again. Me and her don't work out. Well, the child's fine.
That's good.
My daughter is great. She's actually very talented at the piano too. All my kids, I have 4 kids. They're all great at music. But I moved up there, and my mom, who had moved from California to out there to be with near me and her grandbaby, we decided to open a restaurant. And so it was like complete turn away. I had done some culinary stuff, like schooling in my younger years and stuff, and it was an interest for me. And owning my own business in this really small little town was kind of important to me. And I had a photo studio there at the time, doing like the local school photos and football game photos and stuff like that.
For like the yearbook or whatever.
Yeah,
kind of stuff?
yeah, just like school related, town related. Like if you know what a small town is, it's like they have a town photographer, they have a town doctor, they have a town like one guy you go to for the history of the place, and one guy you go to for, well, we got a head coach and he coaches all the sports. It's not like you have a tennis coach and a football coach and a baseball coach, and one guy coaches all the sports. And man, that was an adjustment for me. I'm from Southern California, music, playing shows, being in front of people, lots of energy, to small town, working in me and my mom owned a bistro, a little diner, selling burgers and stuff. And it was a huge, like, left turn.
So did you move? So when you moved from California, you moved to Austin, and then you moved to a small town from Austin?
Yeah, so I moved to be closer to where my daughter was going to be born, way up north Texas.
Okay.
So that was the first problem, was that I could have a kid in Austin just fine, but she moved to her hometown in on the border of like Texas and Oklahoma. Okay. And so I moved up as far to the top of Texas as I could, and got super close to her. But what's up there? But small towns.
Fields of stuff.
I mean, I could live in like Dallas, Fort Worth, but then it's 5 hours away from my kid. And, I've always been kind of a fatherly guy, wanted kids since I was young. And so, being that far away from her wasn't an option. So I just picked a city on the map that was near her, went to Craigslist, looked up deals, and found a house and went and moved up there. But that's the town where I met my wife. I had the rest of my kids. And life actually began, in Texas for me, meeting my wife there and everything. And we did it all. So we had our restaurant. We lived on a farm, and I owned cows, and I fed hay to cows in the morning, and I bottle fed baby cows, and I lived the cowboy life that my wife had grown up with, because she's from small town Texas, and it was very familiar for her. And so we had chickens and goats, and we lived outside of like even the small town. So it's called the sticks. You live out in the sticks because you're not even in the small town anymore. You're on a dirt road that leads out to your farm. And it was super fun, but super unrewarding personally.
Like the farm life, or just like that kind of, or I guess that whole lifestyle.
So it's a lot of hard work, and it's fun, and you get to have that sort of life with your kids. Your kids come out and they're pulling hoses and filling up horse buckets, and they're not loving it, right? They're collecting eggs and it's fun. And we did a little bit of a YouTube family like a vlog style YouTube channel documenting like our farm and some of the stuff on there that we were doing. But eventually, and I think it was my wife's suggestion, was like, all of my family still lived out in California, and now we're raising our kids in Texas. And my mom now is like going between California and Texas because she's got grandbabies now in both areas. So it was like, let's go back to California. And this was like right in the heart of the pandemic, like 2020. Ooh. Like the summer of 2020, we decided to move to California from Texas.
Yeah, that's right there. Holy cow.
And it was like, you're leaving Texas, which is still open, and you're going to California, which is completely shut down. Why are you going there? Well, the reason was our family's out there, and it's just we couldn't run a restaurant in our small town anymore. It just cost too much. It was the the farming life wasn't serving. I mean, we could grow cows and sell cows. Is that what I want to do the rest of my life? And not be near my family, just be out here. And my family lives in California and comes visits every once in a while. So we went over that idea for half a year probably, and then decided that we were just going to pull the trigger. And so we loaded up, sort of the same style in reverse. Loaded up. We loaded our car and towed it behind. So my dad drove to Texas and towed our car. So we loaded the car like a trailer, and then we all climbed in his truck and made a few stops on the way, but eventually landed here in the Long Beach area is where we first landed. Now I'm more in Orange County, but we've been here since the summer of 2020, and I've been slowly feeling like myself more and more. We're actually living in the same community that I lived in growing up through my middle school and high school years. So my kids right now are literally going to the same schools I went to.
The same? Do they have the same teachers at all?
No, I don't think any of them's had a crossover like that yet. But people know the name. I was pretty notorious in the district as a student, and then also my mom worked for the school district for a long time, which had to, it was embarrassing for her, I'm sure. But
no, that's not my boy, I promise. The other Ryan.
There was a lot of like, hey, if you talk again, I'm sending you to your mom's office. Like I got sent to, you usually get sent to the principal's office.
Yeah.
It's like, no, go see your mom. I couldn't shut my mouth. I just wanted to just be fun, make jokes, talk. I couldn't book learn. My brain was fully wired to just do like music and do music. And I didn't really know how to harness that.
Because I know you said the video about your collab that you have coming up.
Yeah.
So where did that start? What was the idea? Where did that whole idea start from?
Okay, so oh man, so much to say. All right, so I moved back to California. I'll take it back. Moved back to California. Started feeling more like myself. Started going to shows again. That you don't have that in Texas, small town Texas. You don't get to go to too many shows. And I started feeling like I wanted to do music again. And so I bought a drum set, started playing, got to a point where I said, this is like coming all back naturally to me. I'm listening to music in a whole new way. I've never when I used to play drums, and I would get on stage, I would tunnel vision and I would black out, and I would play the show. And then at the end of the show, I would go, hey guys, how'd I do? Because I wasn't focused. I was doing just the same fills over and over again, just getting by. I wasn't putting any real time and effort into my craft. And so that's why I ended up not being in any of these bands anymore. It just got to a point where it was like, well, you're hard to you're not getting better. You're not progressing. And so I would drink during shows. That period of time I didn't take seriously. But when I moved back to California, I started going to shows and watching musicians again. This is after not seeing them for 15 years. It hit me in a completely different way. And I don't know if it's weird to say, but I'm listening to music in a whole new way right now. When I play the drums, I'm hearing it in a whole new way. I'm feeling a pocket when I play the drums that I've never felt before. I'm not. You're familiar with the word pocket?
Yep.
I have been able to play some really fast punk rock music. I'm a rock punk guy at heart. But as of right now, I haven't been playing it because I've been feeling a lot of pocket style. So funk, reggae, huge reggae fan now. Because of the pocket jazz. I've been practicing a lot of jazz. So just like studying the art of drumming way more now, and taking it way less for granted now. When I moved back here and I started feeling myself again, I mean, that's basically what it is. I'm feeling myself.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, I'm bobbing my head to music more. Like I'm feeling, mental health is a big thing, man. And that 15, so I did like 13 years in Texas. I did like it was jail.
You did your time.
I spent 13 years in Texas, and I'll tell you, I lost every bit of my personality, my I'm a jokester, class clown, say the inappropriate things. I'm asking you, I'm sorry, I don't know what it was appropriate for me to say on your show. Like, that wasn't me before I moved to Texas. And I come back and I'm starting to feel like myself again. I'm playing on equipment that I'm proud of. So when I was a kid, I played on, my dad bought me a drum set, took that for granted, played the shit out of it, right?
Yeah.
Drum sets from my friends, never bought anything I could be real that I like put my but I always saw myself, I want to play on a beautiful Yamaha or DW kit with these Zildjian A cymbals, and but I didn't deserve that stuff back then. But coming back into it now, like I said, I have to do this the right way for myself. And so I got the equipment that I'm proud of, professional gear that I feel like as soon as somebody calls on me to go play a show somewhere, I'm ready to go.
Is that why, like, you play the Yamaha? So that was okay, look, I'm going to get a nice set, one that, like you said, is that someone that you've always wanted, or that was just, hey, this is going to be a good set?
So the Yamaha Stage Custom was the drum set that my dad bought me when I was a senior in high school. And that has always been important to me. And so when I was looking for, I'm not brand loyal because I didn't stay loyal to drums that time, right? Yeah. So I could have went out this time and bought whatever. But because I'm sentimental and family oriented and that sort of thing, I said, well, my very first drum set was a Yamaha Stage Custom. Why don't I get a Yamaha Stage Custom in the birchwood? I would have gotten it with the checkers or the flashy colors, but I just got the toned down birch, and then just a classy set of the A Zildjian custom cymbals, those were dream cymbals of mine, because I used to see when I was beating the hell out of my Sabian cymbals, which at the time the B8s, you could crash a B8 and you couldn't break it with a metal hammer. But a lot of the guys that I looked up to drumming wise were jazz guys or punk guys who had jazz backgrounds, and they played on really delicate cymbals. Like Brooks Wackerman, one of my favorite drummers.
Oh yeah.
I went to high school with him, and he was the jazz band drummer, my senior year as I was a freshman, and I always saw him playing delicate cymbals. But he's playing in Suicidal Tendencies. He's playing in Bad Religion, and I'm coming into my own. I'm starting to be I'm feeling myself as a punk drummer now. But because of his training and his experience and his dedication, he's able to make. You could give me really nice K custom or A custom Zildjians at age 23, and I would have beat the hell out of them. They would have sounded like garbage. I wouldn't have.
I'd have to say I do love the sound of the A customs. Those were the first ones that I bought when I bought my own cymbals. But like you said, I'm the same thing, especially when I was younger. Just got way too excited, hit way too hard, and they were too expensive to replace. Yeah. But I do love the sound of the A customs.
And that's what, when I decided to do drums again, so there was no grand plan. I was just like, I'm gonna play the drums again. I had been writing music periodically from when I left to go to Texas. I had met up with some production companies and done some writing and stuff. So when we moved back to California, I just well, I got to make some money. So I got back into writing.
Well, I know originally you were just talking about getting back into playing drums and getting back into, like you talked about your change of personality from in Texas to
Yes.
California and getting back into that groove.
Yeah. And it really was the surrounding because when I got back out here, I was able to go to shows. I was able to be inspired. I was able to listen bands that I used to listen to that I stopped listening to when I was in Texas. That's a whole nother thing. There's no ska, punk. There's no reggae in small town Texas. I'm listening to top 40 country radio and it's killing me. Softly.
Boring.
Yeah. And no, but being out here, being around people who are like-minded, it just helped me get back into listening to the music that I love, and doing more of the things that I love. I'm also, oh, damn it. So moving back to California from Texas and starting to like feel more like myself, the drum set got some microphone upgrades. The drum set got some interface, some hardware to set up, and I started putting money into it and soundproofing the studio and getting it looking decent and hanging guitars on the wall, and it became like, oh, I'm really going to do this now, full steam ahead, career in music. Like that's the goal here. My kids are like, oh, now Dad, we move out here. Oh, what do you, so like their friend asked them, what does your dad do? Like, well, tell them now I'm doing music because dang, that's what I do from now on.
That's what I do, son.
But then, so as soon as I like got all hyped and stuff, I broke my hand.
I saw a picture of that on your Facebook or Instagram.
It is gnarly, this scar right here.
Ooh, what'd you do?
So you want the truth, because the truth isn't great.
Whatever you want to tell.
I want to tell somebody that like when I was going on a hike through the Big Bear, Lake Arrowhead area, this mountain lion came at me. I fought him off, and I just was able to duck. No, but I was falling down the stairs, and I went for the railing, and I like karate chopped it, and so it got me right on this bone on the side of my hand that you can see my pinky's not straight. It won't straighten. That's 2 surgeries later. So like, remember I moved here in 2020, and pretty soon after that was like, gonna do music. That's gonna be my thing. Oh wait, no, you're not.
You don't need that hand anyway.
Yeah, there you go. So I got the surgery for it and then went to rehab and started playing again. I got to a point where I was able to hold a drumstick and start playing. But I couldn't play long. I couldn't play very long. And so the surgery, I felt like the surgery didn't take, maybe something wasn't right. Because at this point, it's like 10 weeks past my surgery. Physical therapy is way done. I should be able to like at least strike the drum again. And after 15, 20 minutes of playing, I'm just in excruciating pain. And so about a year after the first surgery, I had another surgery. And this was back in July of this year. So July. So however many months ago that was. 2023.
Yeah, about 8 months ago.
Yeah, I just had a real surgery. So the first one, he put in some pins and some rods just to hold the bone in place. But then I couldn't hold the drumstick properly, and the pain wasn't manageable, and it just wasn't getting better. So they cut me open. You see the slice.
Yeah.
There's a whole plate in my hand right now, a metal plate with like 4 screws holding it down to keep my pinky intact because it had floated kind of off and down.
Gross.
Yes, it's very gross. So it's been like this, but like the last like few months have been awesome because I got the go ahead to like play from physical therapy. I can just play all I want now. So the word's going out there that I'm recording. So now I'm like helping out. I'm recording my drums for people, for their songs. And one of the things I set up for myself as like a like rehab almost was like, I got to get myself just like playing more. I'll do drum covers. I'll get myself visible. I wanted to be visible because if I'm just playing in my garage, nobody's going to know I want to play shows or record or anything like that. So make the YouTube channel. The Big Bearded Drummer kind of came up with the shtick. I even have like I'm legit like the Big Bearded Drummer.
That's some real stuff right there.
Yeah. Yeah, now I feel real. I'm not just a fat guy with a beard playing drums. Now I'm actually branded like the Big Bearded Drummer. But it started. So I was like, I need to just like film myself doing drum videos, and it started with poor quality. Before I got a GoPro, before I got good microphones, I was just like holding myself accountable by like trying to upload 3-4 drum covers a week to my YouTube channel. And I would play like most of the song or half a song. It would depend, but like just getting back into the swing of like sitting at the computer.
Oh, sorry about that.
Oh, nice. I was about to learn something.
Well, I switched to the page real quick because it was being stupid and a video started. So anyway,
nice.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. It was your voice, but I didn't see your mouth moving. I was like, wow, ventriloquist.
I do such things on video.
Yeah. I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, yeah. So I started making drum covers, and I was sitting on the toilet listening to this, my Pandora.
Where all great thoughts come from.
Yeah. I mean, that's where I do my best work. It's Pandora I listen to Pandora more than like Spotify, and just I'm not sure why I haven't merged to Spotify yet. It's probably because I feel like I don't want to change it. I like what I have, and I don't want to change. But at some point, I don't know. I'll be on them all, I'm sure, because it's music. But at the time, my Pandora was my Mad Caddy station on Pandora, and Lies by Save Ferris came on, and I thought to myself, oh man, I haven't heard this song since I was super young. Probably high school is when that song was most popular, and I want to do a drum cover of it. And I think this was right around the time where I started like telling myself, you need to start connecting with other musicians and doing like a collab. So like, actually, now that I'm recalling it, somebody had approached me and said, hey, I play bass. I do a bass cover to that song that you covered. Could we put them together, do like a mashup, your bass, your drums with my bass cover? And I thought, oh, that's a really cool idea.
So you both had done Lies individually, and then, hey, let's put them together?
Sorry. So Lies is the newest project. But
okay.
So this is how we got to Lies. Sorry.
Okay.
I had been approached to do a collab with somebody, a song like I had already recorded like months ago. He was like, oh, I did that too. Let's put them together and like re-release them. And so that kind of spawned an idea of like, oh, hey, maybe on the next like drum covers or one of the next drum covers, I can work with another drummer or get a bass player or a keyboard player to play the keyboard, something. Just start connecting myself, spiderwebbing, networking, getting people to work with me so that they know I'm reliable, and and just kind of spread the word that way. And then when Lies, when the toilet epiphany happened, and I heard Lies, I thought of, I want this. It starts with bass, and I thought, this would be cool to collab with somebody on bass. And so one of the people who I had recently like reconnected with over the, after so many years of being away from each other, was Anthony Rondina from the Guilty Parties. and he's the bass player from a band called the Guilty Parties. And he was like, dude, I'm in, like, let's do it. And then, I don't know, I slept on it or something. And then that idea turned into, let's get more people. Do you know anybody who would want to do this song with us? And we kind of had the same thought. If you're familiar with Save Ferris and you're familiar with Karen Roberts, then you know that Save Ferris is Monique from Save Ferris is one of her biggest influences.
Yep.
Like growing up. So it was kind of like, well, let's get Karen on this thing because nobody else is going to, like, we can't get somebody like Monique because Monique is Monique. But Karen, who actually has a very unique voice, knows the song very well, can make it her own. And that's exactly what she did. She wasn't a clone of Monique on this cover. What this turned into was friend calling a friend, calling a friend, calling a friend. And we got like 11, 12 people working on this song now. And it's been awesome. And I've been spearheading it. And I think I jumped in, they tell you to crawl before you can walk.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I said, hell to all that. And I'm going to just produce a song from the ground up, a cover, obviously.
Yeah.
But, and then I'm going to tell everybody kind of what I want from them. I let them be them. Obviously, they put their stamp on the song. But was definitely had my hand in producing the thing, and actually one of the trumpet players on the project, her name is Megan. She's from Chase Long Beach. Did sort of rearrange the horn parts from the original, and sort of gave them so it's like a Lies Save Ferris version, but like steroid edition. We're doing because they're a ska band, but they made this song which was like a reggae, a real reggae vibe tune, and so we went full Cali reggae, like almost not dub, not quite dub, but it's very California influenced reggae version of this song. And she arranged these horn parts to give it this really cool vibe. And
nice.
And so she's a producer on this song as well. And it's just been really fun. We got Dan he's from Real Big Fish, Johnny from Real Big Fish. They're both in the video, and we just a bunch of friends came together and made a cool song. It's for charity. I don't want to make this. Was like I asked friends to help me, so I wasn't out there paying musicians to be on my song.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have done that. I'm a firm believer in paying people for their services and that. But as this started with just a few volunteers, it had to sort of stay that way.
Yeah.
And it became a charity project. Because I wasn't going to be able to pay anybody. So if I needed to pay somebody to work on it, we could do maybe a tax write-off related thing, because when the song is sold, all that money's getting donated to charity as opposed to like coming to me or paying the musicians or anything like that. So they're essentially going to get, for donating their time and donating their, talents, they can get. None of them have suggested that I do that for them, obviously. Yeah. But the option was available. They're all just volunteering their time, and they don't, nobody's asking for anything, which was just super amazing, super helpful. Getting these types of people to work with me on my very first project when I have zero, I don't have stuff out there to show you. I have a few fun drum covers. I did some drum interviews. I interviewed a few drummers. I want to get that series going again on my channel. But the plan has been, and it's been a very long plan, just reincorporate myself back into the music business to where I can be sort of reborn. I want to do it the right way. I'm working really hard at it. I'm putting in a lot of hours behind the kit. I'm doing a lot of studying on the computer, recording techniques. I'm working with people. And, so for like example, when I'm tracking this project, I'm doing all the editing, making sure the trombone lines up with the trumpet, making sure the drums sound good here and everything is all lined up, right? But when it comes to mixing, I have no idea what I'm doing. I've never mixed anything before. So other than, the digital stuff that I've done on my computer.
Like Fruity Loops and whatnot?
Yeah. But I've never gone in and taken a snare drum and expanded the sound of it to see like, oh, what can the snare sound like? And or even work with triggers to maybe see what these toms would sound like with a trigger, with being triggered instead. Or, I've never done anything. I've only been in the tracking and editing phase of music. Back when I played in my 20s, I showed up, I played my drums, I left. That's all I mean,
peace out.
I didn't learn the technical side of it. So like when I started making drum covers, I would set up my phone, but the quality was bad. So eventually I got microphones. Well, I don't know how to use them. So I'm on YouTube. How do I set this up? You can find freaking anything on YouTube. How to set it up. How to place. Where do you want to mic placements? How to, everything. How to make a grilled cheese sandwich. It doesn't matter what you want to learn. You can learn it on YouTube. I don't even Google anymore. I go straight to YouTube.
Yep. That's where I go. It's like my friend asked him something. He goes, YouTube should win Teacher of the Year every year.
It's true. When my kids are like, hey, how do you something? I don't know. Let's YouTube it. It's the first thing we do. We turn on YouTube.
So one question I have for you. So you helped me out when I did the Christmas covers, and you recorded Karen Roberts' vocals.
Yeah.
Is that a side thing that you're kind of doing, recording other people, or was it just, okay, Karen asked for some help and you did that?
Yeah. So Karen was coming in to record the Lives project, and around the same time was looking for someone to record her for your project.
Okay.
The Blake and Gwen.
Yeah.
Cover, right.
Yep.
And so while she was here, I said, absolutely. Just let's lay it down.
So that was all part of when she was there to do this, the Lies video. Kind of, it all just happened to be together, huh?
Yeah. So she came here to do to track her vocals for the Lies song, and she said, I think she messaged me a day or two before and was like, "Hey, is it okay if before we jump into the Lies project, can I track something for a friend real quick?" And she was referring to you and your project, and I said, "Absolutely." So we did it right here in the studio, and we worked on. I think we tracked it for about 40 minutes. We worked on it 45 minutes, and then we got to working on our stuff. But you were gonna I wasn't doing anything for you. I was just tracking her vocals and sending them to you. I wasn't lining them up or doing anything like that for you.
Nice. So how many were there others that recorded in your studio for that song, or did everyone do them on their own? Because I know Anthony lives in Texas.
Yeah,
but were there others that came to your studio to record, or was it just her?
Originally, there was going to be people who were. So this project has been in the works since it was going to happen before the second surgery.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So this was something that I was talking with Anthony and Karen about like summer of last year, maybe 2022. And then, it slowly crawled, and I recorded drums for it, and people were joining the project, and people were falling off, and new people would join. And so like it took like, I want to say like almost a year to get everybody who we have now on the project. And the last one who actually joined was Dan Regan from Goldfinger, Real Big Fish, and some of that. But he like just, I'll help out instantly. He knew that Johnny was involved, and so Johnny Christmas was involved from the start. And what a saint he is, putting up with me from the very beginning of this thing, going, "Hold on, we got to take 3 weeks off. Don't record yet. I'm going to send you a drum track." And then I send him the drum track, and then it's like, don't record to that. I'm going to send you another drum track. This one's garbage. I got to do it. I mean, the most unprofessional. Like I would learn from the very beginning, but he stuck with me. It worked out really well, and we have the right cast of characters on here. And I don't know if I should just name them all, but like it's really really cool. The video comes out New Year's Eve. We're going to release it. New Year's Eve is like a live premiere on YouTube, and I'll be in the chat or whatever. And whoever is part of the project, not sure what time we're going to release it. I'm trying to talk to a few of the other participants to see what time would be best for them to be in the live chat. But maybe an evening release, like 5, 6 o'clock. And then, that song gets released on January 8th.
So if people want to buy it, they watch the videos and they want to purchase it, where could they purchase that?
So January 8th is when it's going to go like on all the platforms. So like
Spotify, wherever else.
Yeah, all that stuff. iTunes and or what, I don't even know what they call it now, the Apple Store.
Yeah, I think it's Apple Music or something. I don't know.
Dumb. The video was made for fun, just to sort of promote the song. Promote the charity aspect of the song. That was kind of the goal of the video, was to just get as many people as I could to hop in the video, have a fun little New Year's Eve celebration on camera. It's going to be a New Year's Eve themed, kind of Christmassy themed video. We're doing it like picture in picture, like pandemic style. Everybody films from their home.
Like in a Zoom meeting?
Yeah. Which is back to kind of to your original question. I'm so bad at this. The worst interview ever. So there was going to be people coming here to record, and it turned out to be everybody recording everything separately.
And then just sending you all the files.
And sending me everything. Which actually turned out to be way more convenient and way easier. I felt like there was a moment where a guitar player who isn't part of the project was going to come in here and record guitar, and my anxiety was getting up, and I've only practiced tracking a mic, putting a mic in front of an amp so many times, and I haven't actually this is like my first time, right? So it actually calmed my nerves that people were able to like get the sounds they wanted at their houses and their studios and send it to me. And I put it together, and now it's at the mixer and it's getting the shiny stuff put on.
Getting all the sound goods put to it.
Yeah. But that's what this was supposed to be, just a drum cover. This song is cool. I want to throw it up like one of my drum covers, to collabing with Anthony Rondina, and then just bringing everybody on. Karen has been on from the beginning, because without Karen, this thing doesn't go. I couldn't think of another singer I wanted to do this. I'm very limited in my horn knowledge these days. I was pretty proficient at the trombone back in my early years, but I don't have the lips or the brain. I don't have the muscle memory or the brain memory. This could also be a huge reason why I'm
perhaps.
Here's the thing. I'm more talkative if I'm high. I haven't been high this entire time. Oh, you're getting the weird, awkward, anxiety-ridden, not chilling Ryan right now. And I'm still talkative.
Hey, we'll take it.
Oh, and I hope you edit this down. I hope you make me look good.
Yeah, I think we'll make it work. So after you do your lives video and you get everything all released, you get your music out there, what are you going to start working on next? Are you going to still do your drum covers, or are you going to try and do another collab kind of a thing?
Yeah, so I think the drum covers will never stop. So I'll always have that YouTube channel, and when I have time, and that's one of the things that, like, when I first started the drum covers, was I was very just, I like the song. Put up a camera, drum it. I wouldn't rehearse it. I wouldn't practice it. I wouldn't listen to the song. And it's much different now. I come across a song I feel like I want to cover. I put it on repeat, and it goes all day. And then the next day, I'll practice it 8 or 9 times. And then the next day, I'll record the drum cover. So I'm giving each drum cover a little more time, so they're not coming as frequently. But those will still happen. The goal is to work in the industry. So, I would love to record, tour, shows. I love teaching. Teaching is what that's one of the first things I'm getting started, is getting back into teaching. So after the Lives project comes out, it's like it's full steam ahead, accepting all offers. I mean, there's been I lost you. Oh, there we go.
My phone wasn't charging. It was about to die for some reason. But now it works. Oh, well.
So yeah, after the Lives project, so the Lives project comes out, the video comes out December 31st, New Year's Eve, and the song for download will come out January 8th, and that's all going to charity. So that's why the video's coming out like a week in advance, just because I wanted to just drum up, talk about the charity and get it really out there circulating before it was time to actually, hit the ground running with the song on the 8th. Hopefully people will be excited for it by then, because they've seen the video, they've heard the song a few times, and getting the opportunity at that point on the 8th to support the charity, even though you've heard the song. I fully understand people will use that as their opportunity to play the song, and then not buy it, obviously. But the money will go to a good charity, Save the Music, and it's a charity that I've thought about donating to. So I donated to Save the Music a long time ago when I was like 18. I was given a grant to donate to a charity, and so I donated to Save the Music. And when I was coming up with ideas on charities for this one, I thought, what a fitting charity to kind of donate to, because of my instrumental music background, and their primary goal is to save instrumental music in schools. A lot of schools are, they're dropping. What are you going to drop? Football, or are you going to drop your music program? And the first thing to go is the music program.
So I'm assuming this is it. The Save Music, their Instagram, Save the Music. I'm assuming.
Yeah, they've been doing it like 25 years.
And that's nice of you.
And so what they do is they send money to schools to keep instruments in workable order. Like low-funded schools don't have money to fix instruments or even give kids instruments. If a kid comes from a low-income neighborhood, the chance of that kid being able to go get a $600 saxophone is not likely.
Yeah.
But with Save the Music, they can take new instruments, refurbish instruments, and get them into these schools at much lower costs. They can pay for teachers. Like school districts can't afford a teacher's salary to stand there and teach music, but because this foundation feels it's so important, they're collecting money to be able to keep music essentially in schools, because it's running low these days. And so I felt like I like Toys for Tots. I like a lot of different kids charities, Chalk Children's Hospital, stuff like that. But a lot of things came together. Save the Music, Save Ferris. We're sharing a word there. I don't that wasn't a big deciding factor. I'm not sure why I led with that one as the first one. But just my instrumental background, and all the people who are working on this have instrumental. Most of them have been through an instrumental program in middle school, high school, that I can recall, and learned from a band director, and has somebody that they can look up to. I mean, I have a band director. He just recently passed last year, and it took the wind out of my sails. But everybody should have somebody like that they can look up to, and this guy believed in me, and he was one of the only guys that believed in me, and he made music. He made me feel like music had to be important to me. Like, bro, you are messing up in class, your grades are terrible, you're slacking off, you're mouthing off to your teachers, you're getting in fights, blah, 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 blah. But if you stay dedicated to your music and like, sorry, I'm going to get emotional because I did a real disservice to him in my younger years with treating music how I treated it. And I think he saw me playing music. I was in touch with him from here on occasion. He saw me playing music, but I don't think he saw me ever really taking it seriously. And so I don't feel like I ever got to make him proud in life. But since his passing, I've really aimed my thoughts, my own internal spirit, just accompanies everything now that he had ever spoken to a student ever. Like hard work, dedication, determination, being able to pick yourself back up and dust yourself off. You're not going to win every time, and stuff that I didn't take seriously when I needed to. I'm taking seriously now. And so my goals with this now, if you're asking me nuts and bolts, what do I want to do? I want to make a living in the music business. I want to play drums. I want to work in studios. I want to work on stages. I don't have to be in a rock and roll band. I don't have to be a rock and roll star. I have played in theater productions of cabaret. I've played drums in dueling piano bars. I've played drums at huge festival. I played Austin City Limits in Texas. I just want to get back to doing that. Just playing drums whenever, wherever I can. Also, while I have my home studio here. You're seeing this is my garage that has been turned into a studio. And while it's a working studio for me, because I can record my drums here, I have a keyboard that I can go and find melodies on. I have a plethora of brass instruments to play. I have guitars that I can fiddle. None of this is on a professional level where I could have, except for my drums and my drum recording equipment. All right. So this bass is a left-handed bass. It's cheap. I can't even play it because I'm not left-handed. This is my friend's acoustic guitar. It's also left-handed. I can't play it. That's the right-handed guitar. That's the only one I claim. I can't play it. I don't know how to play the guitar left-handed or right-handed. But none of these are. I can't invite a real professional guitar player in here to record. I don't have a proper amp. If a guitar player wants to come in and have 9 different guitars to sit down at and choose from, and I'm just not there. So main goal, just perform drums wherever I can and learn as much as I can to develop a studio here that can be professional and can, Karen came in here and recorded vocals, and it's a very professional sounding vocal take that she gave me. And I have very, professional microphones that I use for my drum recording. So I'm able to do certain stuff like that. Megan recorded her trumpet here for the Lies Project. I recorded some trombone here for the Lies Project. So I have capabilities. I just don't have the wherewithal right now to be able to do like full on professional, book a band. They're going to be in here 4 days, this type of thing. I'm not there yet, but I want to get there. I'm determined to get there. And I feel like this time around, I'm having more fun doing it. I have kids, which is actually making it more fun because well, getting to see them experience music and actually enjoying it, like, that makes me happy as a dad. Because, like, I mean, sure, dads want their kids to do. Are there dads that played football so when their kids get old enough to play football, they get their kids in football? I'm the dad that just happened to get my kids private lessons in instruments.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
No, I mean, granted they still take taekwondo and physical activities and tennis and stuff like that, but we're a musical family, and we focus on it, and we watch music videos together. And a band puts a song out, we watch it together. If the Aquabats are in town, I will take my son to go see the Aquabats, and he's 6 years old, but he's going to concerts, and so I'm implanting this, this lifestyle of music. And if I just keep going, and I don't know if you saw, like, side note, which I know I've done 1,000 of these.
That's all right.
I just did my first performance.
The Christmas one, right?
What?
Let's see. The Christmas one, right?
Yes.
Let me look that back.
I dressed up as Santa Claus, as close as I could to dress up as Santa Claus. I already look like him enough as it is. And I did a sort of a drum clinic, like as if I was teaching, children as Santa, how to play the drums. It was a drum clinic, and so that was bad timing. I threw gum in my mouth. It was an opportunity for me to get my feet wet again, because I haven't performed in 15 years. So I wanted to get back out in front of people, and because I wanted to start teaching, I used it as an opportunity to, like, showcase the drums. And if you want to learn the drums, this is some of the stuff we can do. And so I played some Christmas songs, played some rock songs, just some popular stuff that people would know. Dressed like Santa, and I didn't have the fake beard, because it was actually, the suit was really so I thought I would have to order, like, super big suit, because I'm a super big guy. So we got this really big suit, and it ended up being like 5 times too big, and I couldn't fit this. I was swimming in clothes is weird, but the sleeves came out to here, and my drumsticks wouldn't even hit the drum. And so I had to roll up the sleeves, so I'm wearing, like, a festive undershirt. So I'm not, like, full Santa, but
close enough Santa.
You've seen the picture, yeah. And it was cool to have kids around, and I played Little Drummer Boy, so it gave me a chance to come out from behind the drum set, and I had a snare drum just set up, and I played some concert percussion snare drum, and it was just a chance for me to just try to inspire some kids to maybe take drum lessons, and that's an extra way for me to make some money, teach drum lessons, and inspire kids, and it's inspiring my children to play music, and yeah. Oh, dude, I don't know where that was a side tangent.
That's all right. But I mean, that's good for you. Good for you. I know, like you'd mentioned earlier, we could touch on that. Mental health is a big thing, and hey, sometimes you got to work on what you got to do to get yourself right. And it sounds like that's what you've done. I mean, I know a lot of times we can look back in our past and we're like, I wish I didn't do that. But unfortunately, I mean, there's nothing we can do to change that. Yeah. We can just like what you're talking about. Well, we can fix what we're doing now. We can fix the direction our life is going, which that's good. It sounds like something that you're trying to work on.
Yeah,
changing it.
So I've done a lot of personal growth. Has been over the last year has been really awesome, because I've been able to, like, see when I'm being an asshole. I've been able to see when I'm taking people for granted or pushing myself. I'm really pushy. And so, like, it's only been since moving back to California have I really started focusing on my mental health, talking. I've been to doctors now. I got a little pill over here that settles me right down. I also am an advocate for marijuana. I am. It started because I got hand surgery, and Man, those pain pills that they give you, well, for multiple reasons, I didn't want to take them. I didn't want to get addicted to them. That's a big problem. And I hate pain. So I was like, for the first like week, I was popping these oxycodone, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, oxycodone.
Oh yeah, let this pain go away, and then I'm running out, like I'm getting low, and I'm like, oh god, I'm panicking. And then it's like, well, you know what else makes pain go away? My brother says.
I have a little something in this bag for you.
Try this out. And it actually became very, very healing for me, mentally and physically. Because with the pain, I was able to get off that other stuff, which would mess up my stomach.
Yeah.
And with the stomach issues that go along with pain medications too, I didn't want to do that. And because the first surgery didn't take, I was constantly dealing with pain, even playing the drums after they said, go ahead, play the drums. You're fine now. Like, was painful. And, if I smoked a little weed and put a little ice on my hand, a little heat, then I could play for longer. And my hand wouldn't hurt. And I could feel myself sitting up better at the drum set because my back wasn't hurting after. Because you got to remember, too, drum's a very physical thing. I haven't played in 15 years. That muscle memory is gone, and these muscles aren't what they used to be. I've always been huge guy, but like I haven't been on a. When was the last time I got on a treadmill? Do you know? I do. So, like, there's a whole physical aspect that goes into this too, and so I'm telling you, personal growth, mental health. I'm not saying everybody needs to go to their local dispensary and get on weed right now, but I'm telling you, for me, it's helped with focus, it's helped with pain, and definitely helping with my personal growth, because it helps with a lot of anxiety, and I'm able to see things differently than just ramped up. I can only see tunnel vision. And so.
Well, that's good. I mean, it's good that you can acknowledge. I mean, like they say, that's the first step, is acknowledging there is something that needs to be changed and needs to be worked on. So, hey, you've made it to that step, and it sounds like you're making steps to even make your changes in life, make it a better life for you.
I'm trying to make my kids' life better is the goal. So in order to make my kids' life better, I'm going to have to make my life better, because I don't want to raise cows. I don't want to own a restaurant anymore. I don't want to do all that stuff I was doing. You name it, I've done it. I've worked it. I've done concert security. I've been a security bouncer. I've been a celebrity security guard. I've been a pizza delivery guy. I worked at Taco Bell. I owned my own restaurant. I drove a taxi. I drove limos. Nice. I taught drums. I've been a kindergarten, an after-school daycare program advisor. I mean, I've done literally everything. But the only thing I've done well is music. And so to get my kids to a place where they can be proud of me, they can be proud of the life they have, I can give them everything they want, I have to concentrate on myself. I'm focusing on, it's crazy because this is the part where I go, I'm focusing on myself, and it sort of takes away from a little bit of the time with it, but it doesn't, because I'm in a place right now where I haven't always been great dad and fun, but I'm loving my kids right now and loving being around them and wanting to be around them. Working from home has been awesome, because when my legs start to feel tired, like I need to get up, I can go in the house and my kids are sitting right there, and I can go play, and I can go roughhouse for half an hour. That's the life I want, but I could have had it doing other things, but I wasn't able to be happy with myself, if that makes any sense. But now that I'm doing what I want, I'm much happier life with my kids. My wife's getting a better me. My kids are getting a better me. I'm by no means successful yet, right? But I did that performance dressed as Santa Claus. My kids think I'm a rock star, right? They love me. They're telling about all their friends about their dad who just did this performance and stuff, and that's my motivation right there, is my kids' happiness, and that I want them to be proud of me. and even though they already are, I want to like really show them what I can do with this thing. So it's been a struggle, but currently, right now, as we speak, as it stands, feeling good. I'm sounding good on the kit, and opportunities have been coming in lately, and so it looks like it's going in an upward trajectory, and I'm excited to see where it goes and who I get to work with in the future. It's exciting.
Well, that sounds fantastic. I mean, hey, thanks for joining me. And I just like, it's like we talked about at the beginning. I mean, it's just fun to hear people's stories and whatever they involved and what got them to their life's experience and where they're at.
Yeah.
I find joy in it. And so, good luck on your video and your music coming out, and we'll keep forward for your next little project.
Nice, thank you, and hopefully I can do this again sometime and not be so scatterbrained. I really appreciate you because it's the first one of these I've done in a long time, and it was kind of awkward, but you got it down, man.
Yeah. Again,
I
thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
All right, and have a good evening and good help. Hopefully your hand gets healed up all fast.
Yeah, just a little pain still when it gets to drumming too long, but we'll get there.
Oh, fantastic! All right, well, thank you.
Appreciate you, Jeff. Thank you.
All right. Bye.